What is going on, everybody? It's Destroy here with our Thursday video going over wide receivers. As you can see in the lineup, we already have Baker, Nick Chubb, and David Geis in. And now we're going to go over our receivers for this week. So there's only one 9K receiver, and it's well-deserved. Michael Thomas at $9,300 against the terrible Carolina pass defense. If you want to pay up for a wide receiver who's gonna get numbers, it's gonna be Michael Thomas, and you're paying $1,300 more dollars than the next best option, or the next option at that. Um, Michael Thomas is great play here. If you can afford him, go for him. He's gonna have really good numbers. If you don't want to go for him, look at the next four guys, three in my opinion, three. Um, But yeah, so if you have the money, go for Michael Thomas. Definitely going to get numbers. Drew Brees is back, and whenever Drew Brees and Michael Thomas are playing healthy, that duo is very good, and they're playing against a terrible pass defense here, which should be a pretty close game, depending if Carolina's offense can compete. So yeah, Michael Thomas, great play there. Julio Jones questionable against Tampa Bay. If you don't get some type of exposure in this Tampa Bay Atlanta game, I don't think you're going to win anything spectacular unless you get a really good pivot off of it. So let's just go over the three top receivers here. So Godwin being the cheapest at 7,200, Julio being the most expensive at 8,000, Mike Evans right above Godwin for $100 more. If I'm taking two people, if I need to pay up for two wide receivers, I'd rather go with Julio and Mike Evans as my two. Julio, I mean, like, you're going against a terrible Tampa Bay defense. His numbers haven't been crazy lately. Only 4 games above 20 points. Hasn't got a receiving touchdown in a while. So I think this is a game where he bounces back. If you don't want to go Julio just because of how he's played, he's coming off questionable if he does play. Definitely try to go, one of the top 2 Tampa Bay receivers, Mike Evans, Godwin, and then get yourself some Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, 6,500. Calvin Ridley has been tearing it up as of late. The man got 31 points last week with Austin Hooper out. The game against New Orleans, that whole game script was just weird, But man, this love Calvin Ridley, I do. So yeah, if you don't want to go Julio because he's questionable, because he hasn't really had those crazy good numbers, which he should. Definitely go Calvin Ridley, and I'm going Mike Evans over Godwin this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add Mike Evans to the team right now. Odell Beckham Jr. questionable against Miami. I definitely like to get some type of Cleveland receiver. I think I'm going to go with Landry more than Beckham. But Odell's not a bad play here either. He's at 7K. Little cheap for what he should be doing. Granted, he has not produced. None of that Cleveland offense really has besides Nick Chubb. So I'd probably stay away from Odell this week. Julian Edelman, I'm actually going to just get away from the Dallas-New England game unless something really pops up or catches my eye. I think I'm just going to stay away from this game. It should probably be a decent scoring game. Both teams have really good offenses, really good defenses. So this game should be a decent scoring game, should be competitive. It's just those games you just don't want to really target. They're more of a tournament play than going for cash, just because there's so many people on both teams that can go off, and if you play the wrong person, you're basically screwed. So yeah, I'm just probably going to stay away from that game this week. The other game I'm going to stay away from this week is the Denver-Buffalo game. Denver's defense has been really good. Granted, Buffalo's offense has been improved, and Buffalo has a really good defense also. Denver, put up a lot of points, a lot more than everyone thought last week, but I still don't like Denver's offense. So I'm going to stay away from the Denver-Buffalo game as well. Kenny Galladay against Washington. Galladay is at 6,600. You could see he had one good week and then fell off. And that's kind of been the theme of him. It's a good game, and then it starts to go down. He had one reception last week against Dallas. And guess what? They're playing Washington. Washington's pass defense has improved. You would think somebody that doesn't have that much talent on the team would be better. They're average in the league, actually. Galladay, this is a nice bounce back game for him after having a terrible week last week. So I'm fine with paying $6,600 for Kenny Galladay here. Really good option. Allen Robinson, $6,500 against the Giants. I do like Allen Robinson. You look at his numbers lately. He had a good first quarter of the season, I'd like to say. First half. The second half, he's started off rough. They're playing the Giants, who are a terrible team. Trubisky is supposed to be in. And Allen Robinson is going to need to be that guy in order for them to really succeed offensively. So if I'm going to take somebody from the Bears, it's either going to be Allen Robinson or Taylor Gabriel if he's playing. We talked about Calvin Ridley. DJ Moore against the Saints. As much as Christian McCaffrey's 10-5 price tag just doesn't scare anybody anymore, Carolina's receivers have a decent matchup. I think whoever is going to be on the left side for Carolina on the majority of the game, I'm not fully sure on that because I know they change things up here and there. But DJ Moore is definitely the guy I'd like to go to. The thing is he's $6,400. And you look at what he's been priced all season, and this is the highest he's been. I don't think he's really worth the $6,400. Granted, he's got a decent matchup this week. He's just too much money for me to go after. DJ Chark, Jarvis Landry, both on the questionable list. DJ Chark, I'm fine with playing against Tennessee. If you're going to go with any receiver from Jacksonville, he's clearly been their go-to. I mean, you look at his numbers. He's their go-to guy with Nick Foles back, especially. Perfectly fine with his price tag, $6,400. Jarvis Landry, $6,300 against Miami. I'd probably go Landry over Beckham here. Just got to see the injuries there with that game. DK Metcalf, $6,300 against Philly. It's a really good price for Metcalf, I'd like to say. I mean, I don't know why it goes all the way up to $6,300 though. He only had one game above 20 all season, and that puts him up $6,300. They're going against a terrible Philly pass defense, which has improved, which they have the last 2 years. They start off really bad and then start to lock things in. It's just $6,300 for somebody we've only seen have one 20-plus game, and that was a 30-point game. He just is too expensive for me to take that chance. Granted, it's a really good matchup, but still, I can't really go after it. Cortland Sutton, I mean, he's pretty much, besides Thomas, the only receiver in Denver. I mean, you look at his numbers, he's only had one game below 10. They're on the road. I mean, you look at his targets, maybe he's the only player I go to if I need to go to somebody. He's $6,200, just another price that kind of worries me for a guy that might not have a crazy good game because of the matchup. Jamison Crowder, $6,200. The thing is that I like about Jamison Crowder and Darnold is Darnold loves Jamison Crowder. He really does. They're playing against Oakland and their terrible pass defense. And I'm a guy that I'm really fine with playing. They're home. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. We're going to add Jamison Crowder to the lineup. Marvin Jones Jr., I'd rather play Galladay against Washington than Marvin Jones Jr. Granted, Marvin Jones Jr. has been really consistent lately. 2 games below 10. But you look at his last 4 out of 5 games, and he's got at least 10 points in each of the games. Got more touchdowns than Galladay. Juju injured. I don't really want to target anybody from Pittsburgh. They have a lot of injuries, including their quarterback. I feel like that game script is just going to be really weird, really complicated. McLaurin against Detroit, another player who's, in the average of their pricing, having a great rookie year. It's just his numbers lately with Dwayne Haskins in is just worrisome. They're playing against Detroit. Both pass defenses are terrible. Detroit is a top 10 worst pass defense against wide receivers in that aspect too. But his numbers just haven't been there like they were in the beginning of the season. Tyrell Williams against the Jets. I mean, this might be another guy that I target. Like, his numbers have been really, really, really consistent. He's been injured, which has been hurting him. But they have a really good matchup against the Jets here. This is another game that should be a pretty close game, in my opinion. And Tyrell Williams and Darren Waller are the only guys that basically get receptions for that Oakland team. So I'm fine with paying $5,900 for Tyrell Williams. Michael Gallup, I'm staying away from that game. AJ Green, if he plays, maybe I target that. Pittsburgh defense has just been really good. It's hard to want to play anybody against them when you're talking about the Bengals offense. But it is AJ Green, but it is Finley as the quarterback, so you don't know what's going to happen all there. Golden Tate against the Bears. Golden Tate, I mean, look at his numbers. He had won the first game pretty bad. After that, every game's been 10 plus. He's 5,700 against the Chicago Bears. I just don't like the Giants against the Bears this week. I know I say that a lot about my Bears, and it is biased, but I just don't like the Giants in general against the Bears this week. Bears are going to be home. Bears need to win. Like, they need to win every game just to have a chance. And that's just to have a chance. Like, right now it's looking almost physically impossible, but there's still like a minuscule chance. So we'll see. Mohamed Sanu, staying away from that game. Curtis Samuel, I'd play over DJ Moore just because of the price. But, either guy you're paying for is a big risk. Slayton against the Bears. Maybe I'd go Slayton. His speed is just crazy. That's the only reason. You get against a Mukamura, and you're just going to dust him. So, if I'm going to anybody from New York, I'd probably go Darius Slayton. Devontae Parker against Cleveland. Cleveland's got a really good pass defense, and I just can't see Miami having that consistency again this week. I think this is the week that they get shut down. So I'm going to stay away from Devontae Parker. A lot of injuries for Pittsburgh, so it's hard to make a pick. James Washington was supposed to be really, really well off playing with Mason Rudolph. But the man just hasn't looked good. And this is the most expensive he's been all season. And it's only because of the matchup. I just can't see him doing anything, really. Somebody from Pittsburgh's going to have a really good game. We saw it a few weeks ago. There's just a lot of injuries to go off of, and it's hard to make a pick right now for that team. Tyler Boyd, if I'm going to anybody from Cincinnati, it's AJ Green if he plays this week. Everyone else I'm staying away from. Sterling Shepard, he's just been too injured lately. That's even if he even plays. Alshon Jeffrey, it's questionable. They're playing Seattle. He's going to need to score. I honestly am fine with paying $4,900. You look at his price tag all year. This is the cheapest he's ever been against Seattle. Seattle's pass defense has been better. Same as Philly. So I'm okay with playing Alshon Jeffrey this week at $4,900. Robbie Anderson, we already have Jamison Crowder, so we're not going to touch him there. I would play Anderson too. It's got really good speed if you need $4,800. Robbie Anderson's really good there. AJ Brown. Just another guy. You just look at his numbers. You can't really play him. You can't. Not a big favorable matchup there either. D.D. Westbrook, go Chark if you're going anybody from Jacksonville. Renfro just hasn't had the numbers. Just hasn't had the numbers that you need him to pay for him. Cole Beasley, the matchup is just terrible there. Danny Amendola, pretty good matchup against Washington, 4,400. I just don't think he's going to be the targeted receiver here this game. Taylor Gabriel, like I said, if you're not going to go Allen Robinson, go Taylor Gabriel. We've seen him have really good high potential games. So, but I think one guy that I'm just going to add this week, you're going to go, why are you going to add him this week? They're playing Philly. If Tyler Lockett is in, DK Metcalf is in, Josh Gordon is in, that's a scary trio, and I think Seattle's going to find a really good way to put Josh Gordon in. So with that being said, we're going to add Josh Gordon as our last wide receiver. Everybody else, guys, is a big risk. One other guy I would like to put out there that I consistently like is Ted Ginn Jr. He's not somebody that you expect to have a crazy good game, but in a game script where, like I said, this should be a really decent scoring game. Both teams having 20 plus points. Ted Ginn is somebody who excels in those types of games, and he's not a touchdown dependent guy in order to go off. We seen him week 1 against Houston. 7 receptions, 101 yards, 20 points for only 4,100. He's 4,000 this week. And he's somebody that I'm fine with paying really cheap for. So that's it for receiver, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's been long. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and follow us on Twitter at AstroDFS.